Yo, what's going on, everybody? Ron here. Welcome back to PanNerdia. Welcome back to another Better Call Saul Season 5 breakdown video, where tonight I'm breaking down Episode 8 of Season 5, titled Bagman. And, you Heisenverse fans are in for a treat tonight, because this episode is directed by Vince Gilligan, and very much his style. A lot of beautiful painting shots, and a lot of super intense scenes that really make you freak out. And it's so crazy in a prequel to feel this way, right? It's like you're watching a show that you have no idea what's happening next. You have no idea what the future outcomes hold for these characters, and yet you're super worried about them. So let's get started here, all right? The episode starts off, right, in a chop shop, presumably a Salamanca one. We have, beautiful cars getting worked on. We have beautiful lowriders getting blood wiped out of it, bullet holes in the glass. Fine establishment. Then we get the Salamanca cousins, the twins, pulling up in their Porsche as they're arriving to retrieve the $7 million in cold hard cash to, give to Saul and get Lalo out on bail. So they have a big vault there that they unlock. They presumably only have the keys for themselves. And as they leave with that much money, one of the guys on the inside there actually calls somebody they know and informs them of the withdrawal. So very interesting. He's already setting some sketchy shit up, and your boy's worried about Saul here. Like I said, even though we know he's alive in Breaking Bad, there's still a lot of people in his universe that we don't see later on, and it makes me worried for them. We then get the sneak peek from this week. Dang, man, I wish Pete was here. But we get the sneak peek scene. Man, there's all sorts of rhymes. Where, Lalo's just laughing his ass off because he's looking at a newspaper with the Los Pollos Hermanos on the headline, burnt down. Saul's there, of course, to talk to him about getting their money. And Lalo pretty much convinces him with his big shit-eating grin that, he's the guy, because Nacho, he can't be doing it. He can't just have his cousins ringing, because if they come in town, then, the other party that he's worried about, Gus, would apprehend them. So, Saul's the guy, right? But, when Saul's just about to step away, because Lalo kind of just shrugs it off, like, yeah, man, it's no problem. I'll find another guy, okay? Which pretty much means, like, as soon as I get a chance, you're dead. Saul's about to walk out, and pretty much under his breath is like $100,000. And Lalo's like, that's a lot of money. And he's like, well, that's the price for me to go take this little stroll in the desert, as you say. And, there it is. Cha-ching. There, the deal is made. And if Saul can bring back that $7 million, he's getting $100,000 from that. It's only like 2% for that, right? So 2% out of the $7 million. So I think we're all right here. Either way, Saul's in a bind. And I don't know how deep he thinks he's gonna get here. Of course he's scared, but does he really know? We then get a scene back at the apartment with Kim and Jimmy. More Saul butt. It's 2 times this season. I guess they're really going for that. I know he's working out for a new action film, so maybe they're just like, hey, let's get some Saul butt. But they, of course, start discussing the clients. Lalo, and she's asking, well, did you get him out on bail? Are you a friend of the cartel now? And he's like, well, I'm not really, but this is the deal. I essentially have to go get money. And he's like, 7. She's like, 7,000. He's like, no, 7 mil. Whew. And she is scared, because not only does he have to go retrieve this money, but he's got to go retrieve it down by the border from the cartel. And that's a lot of money, a whole lot of money to be, slumped into his Suzuki. So Kim is absolutely horrified by this idea and really doesn't want him to be a part of it at all. Man, hats off to Rhea Seehorn, an amazing actress, man. She just struck it there, and she started tearing up like she was about to, cry. 'Cause she was literally like, this is true fear in her eyes that he's about to do this, and he's just trying to reassure her with a very awkward, Jimmy hug. But all in all, he's pretty scared too. He just doesn't want to show it, right? I think that's because ultimately in the back of his head, there's that $100,000 sitting there chilling. Now later in the episode, things might take a turn for the worse, and even with the way Jimmy's thinking, but he always brings it back to Kim and, well, being the winner, right? It's all about winning with him. We then get Saul at the well, so he followed Lalo's directions nicely. Saw the only well out there in the middle of nowhere as he's waiting for the cousins. He actually hears in his head, I'm assuming it was his thoughts, well, it is, but for a minute I thought that Nacho was in the back seat or something, but apparently at some point he called Nacho and asked, and Nacho said, told him, yo soy avocado, which is, of course, I am the lawyer, a lawyer. So as the cousins pull up, like a bumbling idiot, he says it, and they, the silent warriors they are, drop off the bags, give it to him, and head out. And he thinks it's hunky-dory. We're good to go. Boom, boom, job done. All I gotta do is drive home. I'm even gonna sing, little, songs on the way there. Eat some candy bars. This is a good trip. Well, you guys remember the individual in the shadows who made that call after the cousins left the compound? Yeah, it's all about to come back now. And as Saul's taking his little joyride through the desert, a Jeep starts following him, tails him quick. And as he gets further down the road into a fork, another, like a red Blazer comes out of the woodwork, and another car, and I think it ends up being 3 or 4 after him. And they hit him in all directions and surround him. And they all step out with ARs and what have you, and they're ready to blast because they want that 7 mil. And, Saul's pretty much already pissing his pants at this point. Freaked the F out. And more kudos here to the acting, because Mr. Bob Odenkirk, you were amazing this episode. Again, the fear you were able to portray on screen here, man, is crazy. And they go to count the money in the bag, and I guess there was kind of shy. It might have even been from the 100K, which I guess that wouldn't have been. For some reason, there was some money missing or something. But they counted, and they're like, it's short. And he's like, kill that guy. That, or I misread it, and it wasn't short on cash. Either way, dude walks up to Jimmy, pulls out this, fat pistol, black and gold pistol. He's about to pop him, and dude gets his head blown off. Blood splatters all over Jimmy's shirt, Saul's shirt. Probably Jimmy at this point, because at this point he's reserved. He's, reversed back to his first form, Jimmy McGill, and he is shitting his britches here because he's in the middle of a full-on gun blast. But it's like they're fighting ghosts. They don't know where the gunshots are coming from. So of course, first thing I think, ghosts. It's gotta be the twins. They kind of watched him and made sure he was good, and they're coming back to get revenge, right? Boom, boom, boom. It's crazy. These guys are getting picked off one by one. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, who can do this? Only the cousins, right? They are like ghosts. They're probably hiding in the rocks. They got some crazy artillery hiding in that Porsche, man, and they're just picking these dudes off. And it seems like a crazy gunfight. And of course, Saul's in the middle. Mr. Bob Odenkirk, amazing, amazing, amazing. And the way they make you feel this way, during a scene where Saul's gonna live, right? But you're still you're feeling it, man. You're in the middle of it. And one last guy comes down in a truck to finish him off, and it's Mike. So, Mike intercepted as well. Of course, he knew what the plan was, because he's trying to get Lalo back out of jail, so they can pretty much kill him, is what I'm assuming. So they're letting them take this money, and Mike's going to make sure Saul delivers. But, of course, all the vehicles are blasted, gun holes and all. Saul Suzuki seems to be the only one that's able to run. Ooh, should I mention that one guy got away? The guy in the red Blazer? He pieced out. Just him, though. And, they leave in Saul's vehicle and only get a, certain way down the road before the car poots out. very reminiscent of Ozymandias, the episode, one of the last episodes of Breaking Bad. After the gunfight with Jack and them, and how, basically Walt had to schlub to the desert with a bunch of money. Well, Saul had to do that too at one point. So very mirroring of that. And again, like I said, all you who are big Heisenberg fans in general, you probably are just watching Better Call Saul. But particularly if you're a humongous Breaking Bad fan, like it's your favorite show, like me, then you'll really appreciate everything about this episode, because after the car breaks down, guess what? They're slugging through the desert with a bunch of money on the back. And gorgeous panning shots, right? You got little mini time lapses in there. Great music thrown through. And you really get a sense of these guys suffering, because not only do they start getting roasted by the sun, their lips are basically peeling off 10 times. They're running out of water, and it's really funny because I don't know if you guys noticed, but at the beginning when Saul was waiting for the cousins to show up, he was just wasting water, rubbing mud off his shoe in the middle of a desert. And I looked at that and I was like, again, you think to yourself, everything's got a reason. Every shot's got a reason, right? And, well, that was it right there to show you that he's going to get rid of his water so quick that when it really matters, he's not going to have any. So he eventually has to piss in his Davidson main cup, because Mike's like, you better save it. I don't have much of this water left. But we'll get back to all that soon. Man, oh man. So crazy, so wild. And at that point, well, before they at least start walking in the desert, it's only halfway through the episode. So of course Saul's in complete shock. And especially after the car breaks down, it just is not registering. But they have to get rid of his Suzuki. I mean, it's evidence at this point. So they gather all their things, and that sends them on the journey to walk. But of course, before they ditch the vehicle and throw it off a cliff, Saul's got to get that cup out of there. You know the cup Kim gave him, the coffee cup? Well, it's got a bullet hole in it too. So it's like, great. He can't get away. But, they're schlubbing in the desert for hours and hours, it seems, to the point where they're taking little breaks under a tree. Saul even tries to convince Mike that he can, dig a hole, bury the money. They can come back and get it later. He'll remember where it's at. But as they're kind of arguing, Mike notices in the distance the red blazer searching for them, doing a grid search, trying to find their location. So they got to keep moving, and they got to make sure there's nothing reflective on them to get noticed out in the middle of the desert, because that's pretty much the only thing that somebody's going to notice. Something bright, something reflective. They just got to keep trucking along. They do so all the way until the evening, where they have to sit, take the night. Mike suggested, because, it's going to get more dangerous at night, not be able to see a foot in front of them. Can break their leg, so they gotta chill out. So they do, and crazy scene here, man, because as they're kind of talking in the middle of the night, Saul essentially, expresses to Mike that Kim's gonna be really worried about him, and Mike's kind of like, well, why? And Saul basically tells him that, well, she knows, and Mike's just kind of like, oh man, well, she's definitely in the game now. So I was like, she's not in the game. And he's like, yeah, she is in the game now. Which is totally true. I mean, we'll see more later in the episode, but Saul totally drugged Kim in with him without even knowing or realizing it. Now, since they're married, I can already see the disappearance of Kim right before my eyes. Speak of Kim, we then get her the next day, because it's light out, and she's at the precinct talking to Lalo. She requests him. She acts like she was one of his legal team for a minute, and then she's basically just like, look, I know what's up, I know who you are. You tell me where Saul Goodman is, I'll get the money to you. Nobody's gonna know about this, boom, boom, boom. He's like, I'm not gonna tell you shit. What is he, doing telling you my business? And she essentially, tells him that they're married. The husband-wife deal is as secure as client, lawyer privileges, and nobody's gonna know anything. Of course, Lalo's pretty impressed, but he's not gonna tell her anything or give her anything to chew on, where he's at or anything like that. So of course she's still left with her tail between her legs, and he just keeps puffing his chest out, being a Salamanca, and he even gets the cop to open up for him before she says anything. He's out, and with her going down there trying to put her foot in, and as he calls it as he sees it, he's like, look, you're really down here because you love him and you're worried about him because he didn't come home last night, and you're trying to use this with the conjunction of your lawyer wisdom to try to coax this deal. But ultimately she's left in the dust and left super scared still, not knowing what's going on. And like Mike said, Kim's kind of in the game now, because she even told Lalo to his face that she knows who he is and what's going on. And that's not good. That is not good. Oh man, it's not good at all. We then get more Mike and Saul montage in the desert, as we get what sounded like at first, I was like, is this a variant of the Eminem song, My Name Is? But I started thinking, no, it's what it was originally sampled from, and I looked it up real quick. Artist named Lobby Cyphers, a song titled I Got The, and that was playing in the background as they were crawling through the desert, and Saul gets to the point where he's so spent, man. What he ends up doing is just kind of saddlebagging both bags tied together and just dragging them, like with them tied around his belly like he's a sled dog through the dirt, and not really moving much. But I think Mike kind of gets fed up with it, because he eventually looks behind and is like, what the hell, man? And then notices that Saul's been dragging for long enough to create a hole in the bag and leave a paper trail, literally. So Saul's got to go grab him, and as he does, he gets the last bill, trips over a cactus, gets a big needle in his foot, cries like a baby as he plucks it out, which was a great scene. Again, Mr. Odenkirk, oh man, like the face he made when he plucked it out of his big toe, it was hilarious. But man, he is just spent. Mike's not having it, man. It's kind of like, well, how are you still going? What in the hell? And Mike's like, the reason I'm going is because I have something to live for. I am doing this for these people. I have people to protect who have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm doing it to make sure they have the best lives possible. And I'm going to keep doing it. And my last breath is going to be knowing that I did everything I could to make sure they're set for the rest of their lives. And I think that kind of echoes in Jimmy's head. Whether it really rattles off Kim, or it reiterates the fact that he's getting that $100,000, I'm not completely sure what his motives are there, but it's enough for him to get up in action. But before that, Mike notices the red blazer again, and then when Saul thinks it's just completely all over, I'm assuming, or he really clicks in his head that he's got to act now, he stands up, throws on one of those space blankets, which, by the way, Mike has a couple that they used earlier in the episode, and totally reminded Jimmy of his brother, so that brought up some memories. But he straps it on and saddles up and walks out into the world and tells Mike to get that gun ready, because he's going to draw the dude to him. And that's exactly what he does. The guy notices Saul way out in the middle of the desert with a reflective space blanket, drives towards him. Real intense moment where Mike takes a shot, misses, and then takes another shot and pegs the dude. Barrel roll, and totally just obliterates the dude in the blazer, right? Of course, Mike also obliterated the water that was the blazer, so they're SOL there. And Jimmy now fully, in Saul form, as he's finally cracked the last layer of innocence off. The space blanket flowing in the wind. Takes a victory chug of his piss in the Davis Maine bottle. Seems not too dissatisfied with it, because he doesn't make the ugliest face in the world. He's kind of like, alright, well, should have did this earlier. And he saddles up and they stroll on away. And man, oh man, was that freaking wild episode, dude. Whew. Again, they did this with characters that we know are alive in Breaking Bad. So you knew they're going to get away, but you still felt it the whole time. That is really a testament to how amazing the creators of Better Call Saul are. It's just outstanding, and I cannot wait for the last 2 episodes of this season. Alright, speaking of the next episode, episode 9, I don't know the title yet, but I do know that Saul is the talk of the town, as he's blistered and bloodied, coming back, delivering the $7 million to the courts in cash. Even the the prosecutor is totally just like, what the hell? And it's just crazy, man. Totally wild. I can't wait. Even the chip dudes all over Saul, like, man, you created such a big scene. I love it, dude. I really, really love it. I can't wait. I wonder how it's going to end. I wonder how Kim's going to react to Saul, knowing that the Suzuki's done for, that he's got a bullet hole in his cup. I doubt she's going to see the blood on his shirt, but she might. Regardless, we know he's totally scared for his life. Who knows where it's going to go, and what the hell is going to happen in the last season. I do know this. I bet there's going to be another Gene scene in episode 10, so we'll see that, I'm sure. And perhaps we'll get more Gene scenes in season 6 when it's out. Alrighty, guys. Well, that was crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed. I definitely did. Be sure to join me next week for the breakdown review of episode 9. Until then, guys, stay safe, stay home, wash your hands, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Hey, Aaron, out.